Many people think that the rich love to show off their wealth, flashy cars, big houses, and expensive clothes. But here's a shocking fact. Most wealthy families do exactly the opposite. Studies show that over 60% of ultra-wealthy families prefer to keep their wealth hidden. They don't need to flaunt it to feel powerful or secure. In fact, 70% of them say that privacy is one of their top priorities. So why don't they flash their wealth? What's the secret behind their quiet success? In this video, you'll learn how the rich build, protect, and grow their fortunes without showing off. We'll dive into the strategies they use to stay out of the spotlight while still winning big. You'll discover how their mindset, education, and habits are key to creating lasting wealth. Stick with us. You'll be surprised by how much you can learn from their low-key approach. Chapter 1. Invisible Fortunes. The quiet power of privacy. When you think of the ultra-wealthy, you probably picture mansions and luxury cars, but that's not how rich families really operate. Wealthy families often prioritize privacy over flaunting their riches. They understand that showing off can attract unnecessary attention or even unwanted risks. Studies have shown that wealthy individuals tend to keep their wealth low profile to safeguard their legacy. In fact, about 60% of wealthy families in the US hide their assets from the public eye. They don't feel the need to flaunt anything because, for them, wealth is more about security than status. Bill Gates, one of the world's richest men, lives in a modest, non-flashy home despite his billions. This approach to wealth management ensures that the family stays focused on growth, not admiration. Wealthy families also teach their children the importance of discretion early on, understanding that it's not about how much you show but what you do with it. The idea is simple: protect your wealth, and it will protect you. Chapter 2. Stealthy Success. Building wealth without the spotlight. The richest families know that wealth doesn't need to be shouted from the rooftops. In fact, many of them make their money behind closed doors. A study by the Spectrum Group found that 70% of wealthy families accumulate their wealth through investments in private companies, real estate, and diversified portfolios rather than flashy, public ventures. Instead of buying the latest gadgets or posting their lives on social media, they focus on steadily building their financial foundation. For example, the Koch family, owners of Koch Industries, prefer to remain under the radar despite being worth hundreds of billions. They believe in quiet entrepreneurship, the art of building wealth quietly and consistently. Rather than chasing trends, they invest in long-term strategies like family-run businesses and real estate. The key here is to grow quietly and avoid overspending on status symbols that only offer short-term gratification. Wealth grows in silence, compounding steadily when invested wisely. Chapter 3. The Mindset Shift. From luxury to legacy. For wealthy families, it's not about enjoying today's luxury, it's about creating a legacy for the future. They focus on building something lasting that can be passed down through generations. This shift in mindset is crucial in maintaining wealth over time. According to a study by the Williams Group, 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation, and 90% lose it by the third. The difference between those who keep their wealth and those who don't often lies in their focus on legacy. For instance, the Walton family, owners of Walmart, have spread their wealth across philanthropic projects, investments, and family trusts that secure the next generation. This approach isn't just about making money but making a lasting impact. When you think about it, true wealth isn't only measured by material possessions, but by the values and opportunities passed on to future generations. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into how the rich think and live. We'll be exploring more on how they keep their wealth and build lasting legacies. Chapter 4. Quiet Education. How the rich raise their children to lead. Wealthy families don't just pass down money, they pass down knowledge. Education is often the greatest gift they give to their children. But it's not just about going to expensive schools. It's about teaching them critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and financial literacy. In fact, 95% of affluent parents in the US say that teaching their children about money is one of their top priorities. For many wealthy families, education happens outside the classroom. They teach their children lessons about risk management, how to build businesses, and the importance of hard work. Warren Buffett, the billionaire investor, believes in teaching kids to work hard, save, and invest, lessons he learned early from his father, who was a stockbroker. The idea is to teach kids how to think, not just memorize facts. Through mentorship, hands-on learning, and unique experiences, wealthy families prepare their children to lead and maintain wealth. For them, education is an ongoing journey, not something that ends with a diploma. If you're finding this interesting, hit the subscribe button now. Learn more about how wealthy families make their money and grow their wealth over time. Chapter 5. The Hidden Language of Wealth. How the rich think differently. Wealthy families think differently about money, and it starts with their mindset. They don't see money as something to be spent, but as something to be grown. A study by the Harvard Business Review found that wealthy people focus more on opportunities for wealth creation than on consumption. For instance, Jeff Bezos built Amazon by focusing on long-term growth rather than immediate profits. Instead of splurging on luxury items, the wealthy often prioritize investments that yield returns over time. This mindset is rooted in delayed gratification, the idea that you can enjoy more later if you're willing to wait. They don't live paycheck to paycheck, they live on investments that continuously appreciate. Successful families teach their children to focus on what's important, smart choices that lead to long-term financial freedom. The difference between the rich and the poor often comes down to thinking strategically about money, not just for today, but for the future. Chapter 6. Teach, don't show. The art of wealth without bragging. Rich families often prefer to teach others about success rather than bragging about it. They know that showing off wealth only breeds envy, while teaching creates opportunities. For them, sharing knowledge is more important than flaunting riches. They teach their children that wealth isn't something to show off but something to use responsibly. Take, for example, the Rothschild family, one of the wealthiest families in history. They built their fortune by focusing on investments, private banking, and philanthropy without drawing attention to their personal lives. Their wealth was never the focus, it was the ways they used it to support global causes and build influential networks. Similarly, the DuPont family has maintained wealth for generations by investing in industries like chemicals and manufacturing, often behind the scenes. For wealthy families, the art of not flashing their wealth is a lesson in humility, responsibility, and legacy. They understand that true wealth is the ability to live comfortably while making a positive impact on the world around them. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more tips on how the wealthy think, live, and teach their families to build lasting fortunes.